And gentlemen, pretty special night. You got the original team from 30 years ago back together for opening night. What's this night mean for you guys, and what are kind of the emotions running through brain right now?
Well, I remember opening night. The fans were coming in limos and tuxedos.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was really dressed to the occasion. And unfortunately, we didn't play that well. We ended up losing by 40, but the fans gave us a standing ovation, so that always stood out to me.
Yeah, it's the same thing what Brian said is we all looked at each other. We all came from winning franchises. Houston, Detroit, L.A. Okay, Brian was a rookie and all, and we just wanted to bring what we came from, that winning attitude, and bring it to the Hornets.
Yeah, we were flying by the seat of our pants, basically. You know, that was a great year for the NBA because you had 4 new teams coming in, but I think there was also some trepidation as far as what was going to happen. As Robert said, we had a blend of younger guys that were brand new that had never played in the NBA, other guys that had barely played in the NBA, and you had older guys like Robert and I and Kurt and Earl and Ricky Green or whatever. You know, so this was going to be a year where you thought, boy, what's this going to be like? We're not going to win, and I'm not going to speak for Robert, but I'm pretty much sure that he's going to agree with me. I don't like losing, and I didn't want to lose. Yeah. You know, so that's difficult, particularly at that point of our careers, to go through that. So that was going to be hard. But at the same time, it was an opportunity for me to get my career back on track. I spent 2 years in Utah after really 5 good years in Detroit. So, you know, you're getting paid to play. You know, so you've got to show up, you've got to play, and an opportunity for someone to see your skills or whatever and make a team better and try to grow on something. So, and even though, as Brian said, that first game didn't go well, we played a very good Cleveland team, by the way. That was before LeBron and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's admit, we all sit in that locker room and say, how come Miami didn't get me?
But at the same time, you know, I remember the end of that game, and Brian talked about it and touched on it with the crowd cheering. I had no idea. I thought they were cheering for Cleveland.
Right.
You know, so that was like, oh, whoa, this could be a problem here as far as I was concerned. And then all of a sudden, you know, this can't happen. You know, this is not a good situation until the Cavaliers left the floor and they were still cheering. And that's when it kind of struck me that, wow, you know, this could be something, but we have to learn how to win. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to learn how to win. You've got to have some personal pride, some team pride, and if we could ever establish a home court advantage, you know, and this place became a home, not this place, but the Coliseum became a home court advantage. We didn't get blown out, I don't think, ever again during that season. You know, to go through 62 losses. That's a lot of losses. That was a very special year, though. And it started with that first night because the fans deserve all the credit in the world. They stuck with us, and they wanted to put Charlotte on the map, and they did that.
You mentioned the fans in the Coliseum. What was it like? You hear so many legendary stories about playing at the Hive and Tybo. What was it like playing?
There's nothing like it because it was the way the arena was built. The way they packed it in, the sound just reverberated off the ceilings, off the floor, and people wanted to be part of the game.
Well, then too, you had what Carl Shear and everybody did. You had a little bit of the Forum, the Boston Garden, and the Spectrum. We would all come out pregame shooting, but all the fans, even the ones sitting up there touching the roof, they were all around the floor courtside.
But no dead spots and rats.
Yeah. And then if a ball went out of bounds, little man got it, said, come on, take a shot. Yeah. So they all felt part of the team when they saw us all on the floor.
That was one advantage, you know, being in a smaller NBA city. We were real close with the fans. We became part of the community, and that brought them out to the games and all of that. And then I think that uplifted us as well when we played. So after that first game, we got blown out. I think it gave us confidence moving forward that they were going to stick with us through thick and thin. And I think it was only a week or so later we got our first victory. We got off the schneid with that first victory. I think Miami didn't win until I think they lost their first 15 or 17 that year.
Won some road games.
So we gained some fans right away. And
but we went through. You remember, we all of us went through. That's okay, Mr. Reid. The managers got this. When we would eat out.
Yeah, but everybody was going through this.
Yes.
You know, blindfolded. I mean, when you look at it, this franchise, other than the coaches, other than the older guys,
Yeah.
they didn't know what to do. Game operations, the day-to-day things that went on in the front office, they had no idea. Uniforms didn't fit, things like that. So, everybody was kind of like auditioning, including the fans.
But you remember when we had to play Chicago here? And we beat the Bulls.
Yeah,
they were all driving up and down the downtown Main Street, looking like American graffiti. I was ready to say, "Game's up, season's over with. Everybody go home."
That game, we were just talking about before. That put Charlotte on the map.
Yes.
Okay.
To beat
Obviously, it helped us as players, but I think the fact that Michael came in with the Mighty Bulls, we as players,
national
TV, you never go out on the floor unless you think you can win.
Yep.
Now we knew obviously we had to do a lot of things right.
We did.
And we did that night. But more importantly, the fans, I think, had an opportunity because nobody knew where Charlotte was, let alone what it was.
And then
I think they did that on that night.
Right.
They put Charlotte on the map.
And then you remember the game before the All-Star break when we beat Atlanta.
Yes.
Dominique Wilkins and all.
Yeah.
And now he's going to the All-Star game. But we all came to, for once, I'll be honest with you, when we had to play the Boston Celtics here, Kurt Rambis looking at me, I'm looking at Kurt, because we both each knew we had to face them in the championship. I looked at Kurt and I said, we're not in Kansas no more, Toto. I said, we got to do something here.
Guys, Rex Chapman was talking about how incredible Muggsy Bogues was in the context of the other players that he played with, Steve Nash and Jason Kidd, just Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame players. He said Muggsy was better than all of them. Can you give us...
I'll give you this. Let me tell you why Muggsy picked this game up, and nobody's mentioned his name. Ricky Green. Mm-hmm. Ricky Green, our point guard. Yeah. He could catch the ball at the free throw line, outlet pass, and in 3 dribbles, he's laying it up. So him and Muggsy was going at it all the time. So none of us, as vets, we had to complain when Coach Harder put Muggsy in front of Ricky. I mean, that was the thing about it. We all accepted our roles because we knew it was about the Hornets.
Yeah. That's right.
Did you like those uniforms they put you in?
Wait a minute.
They were one of the best selling uniforms in the NBA.
The first game.
He modeled them now.
Yeah, Kelly and I did them. Yeah, you remember we did the modeling, but what y'all didn't know at the first game, at halftime, we were all doing, we were scratching. Man, what's going on here? Bed bug bites? So we had to change uniforms, man.
I know the material's a little bit different nowadays.
Oh,
in fact,
yeah.
If you get those old uniforms, they probably feel like blankets compared to what they wear now, which feels like you're wearing nothing. So,
Well, one other thing I like to say, you look at all the game films before Jordan came in. You never saw vets holding the pants like this because you couldn't hold nothing.
Yeah, it's too short.
Okay, now you see all these young kids. You had to stand up like, yeah, I'm not tired. I didn't want to come out the game, coach.
you shouldn't.
But can you imagine today, if a coach goes to Kelly, Earl, myself, Magic, let's see, Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan said, look here, I'm going to rest you these next 2 games so you're ready. They go straight to the general manager. Get rid of this guy. You're going to talk about rest me? Rest me for what?
No, it's
Big Mo?
The rules have changed.
Yeah.
The rules have changed.
It's all different. I've always said I'd like to see some of these guys, not to harp on what they have. Obviously, we'd all like to have some of the money that they have.
Yes,
But
Lord.
let them go through a season where they don't want to play back-to-backs now. We used to play back-to-back-to-back and fly commercial. Go stand next to the lady or the old guy at the gate at 6 o'clock in the morning and wants to talk about their kids and get
And
an
the baby
autograph,
crying.
and you haven't eaten yet, and then you got to go to Atlanta and play, try to find something to eat before you go play again.
Yeah.
Let it try that one time.
And see, here's the thing, too. You had to fly into Kansas City. It's snowing. Kansas City, Sacramento, right? Before Sacramento. You had to dress on the bus at times. Okay, and then you break your pinky finger. The doctor said, well, you'll be out for about 4 games. Okay. Man, you got a left hand. Get your behind out there.
Stop at McDonald's on the way over when you go to the Omni one time just to get something to eat.
And for
sleep always took precedence over eating.
Yeah.
That was always the thing when you got to the hotel. Do I eat or do I sleep? Right. Usually sleep one. You said, I'll try to get something on the way over to the game.
And per diem was only $75 a day.
Now it's 120 something.
Oh, man.
Okay. Enough of us complaining.
Last one, Rex talked about you guys were brought in to beat the guy that wound up buying the team. How ironic is that 30 year later that Michael now owns this franchise?
Oh, listen. Nobody could envision a Michael Jordan being the owner of an NBA team. All we saw was, whoa, look here. I better learn how to call help in every language on the earth. You know, Asian, Australian, how you want to do it? Help, man. Didn't you hear me call for help? My hands are free. My hands are full over here, Reid. So, you know, when you see, you applaud him. That's a smart businessman. And there's another young athlete going to come up probably in the same position. And you know who we talking about, LeBron. But when we had to play Jordan, you knew, let's all don't be embarrassed. Let's play. Leave it all on the floor and keep our heads up.
The smartest thing that Michael did was when they brought back the name.
Yeah.
I know that was a big moment, obviously, when the Hornets left and went down to New Orleans.
Yes.
And then they wanted to change their name to the Pelicans, and the Hornets became available. Of course, they had the Bobcats, and we knew that Charlotte was going to get a team because it was too good of a place. But there was just something missing. And I told him when we were down here back when that happened, I said, that will be the smartest thing you ever did. And I think he would agree with me. I'm not going to speak for him, but whatever. But that was used, and he deserves a lot of credit for
a big PR moment,
his passion and keeping the Hornets alive.
I mean, we ran into a guy upstairs when we came in. That brought back the old school Hornets. They went in the attic or in the closet and brought out the old uniform, the old jerseys that had our original signature on it, and they're like, yeah.
No, there's something about purple and teal. You guys were here. You guys were here when they had the Bobcats, and the day that they changed that name, they had purple and teal outside, and the place was packed. So
even woke you guys up.
That was a defining moment in this franchise, no question about it.
Be here. To get your 2018 season membership, call 704 Hornets. This is Buzz City.